Body for the top, baby. Bang. Bang. 10 toes down. I got shows and verses. I'ma bring them to your town. For the right fucking amount. You can hit me up right now. Hey, 54 show. And 24 12. I'm a loose screw, I ain't no nil. Walk up in the building.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the debut episode of 10 Toes Down Civil War. John Hassan believes this is good news. We have a full house today. We have all 5 people. Jake Sullivan has returned. Absolute Cinema. We can finally be bees. We can finally be in the thumbnail. We're in the thumbnail for the first time. This isn't your world, but we can finally be bees. Fellas, how are we feeling today on this debut episode?
We can be bees.
The Civil War.
My camera
Is this
works!
the first time we've all 5 of us have had our camera on at the same time?
No. We have one episode, and that's where I got majority of our thumbnails from. I had to search tooth and nail
Torn made a
through all the
horrendous
episodes to try and find that. Majority of the reactions from that thumbnail are from when you said that the Chargers would have a better dynasty than the Patriots if they kept Drew Brees. But hopefully we have none of that blasphemy here today. How this is basically going to work, I will show you guys here right now, is basically we have this wheel here that you guys can see, and we have all these different topics. And we're going to spin this wheel. We're going to get the topics. It determines both what we're debating and who is debating. Most of them are 1v1s. Most of them are random as well. If that's the case, we spin this wheel of names right here. Some are 2v2s. Some have predetermined people. For example, Torin defending Daniel Jones, myself defending Jalen Hurts, Nate defending Bashal Tutin, etc., etc. The things you normally have to do. There are some random ones that people may not like, and if that's the case, we can do a gentleman's swap. For example, there is a topic that asks, is Brady a system quarterback? I don't know if John would want to necessarily have to defend that argument, so we shall see. But it's a gentleman's swap, which means both sides do have to agree. The people who are not debating will be, judging the debates and also like moderating everything that goes on and trying to fill kind of that dead air. Do we have anything? We also get on the spot prep for a couple minutes before each debate starts when we pick each topic. Are you guys wanting me to kind of time each debate, or do we just kind of want to let people cook for this first episode?
Just let it go.
I think just let it go for a little bit.
I think we have enough people that can
something.
moderate.
Civil
If
War.
it goes on too long, I'll also be checking the time. So
I was gonna say, I feel like if this goes on too long, we might have to do 3-minute discussion.
We'll figure it out.
3
We're
minute.
obviously not getting.
But we can also we can
ideas
save some
on
of the topics
list.
for another time.
We're not going to get anywhere close to finishing all these topics. I just wanted a variety of ideas so that we could also all get a feel for how this is going to go. Because I want this to be like a long-term thing. As I say in the description, a couple times a year. It'll be pretty cool. Nate, I promise you, if there are any girls in the chat, they're people's family members, and that is it. So I don't know
wait.
who you are attempting to
guys,
like.
look at.
Oh my
For a second, your hairline looked so cooked when you it was only your head, nothing else. Twin looked like LeBron.
Yo,
All right.
get
Can't
those
believe this is
thumbnails,
my life.
All right, guys, are we ready? Do we
No.
just want to?
Counting or not counting football?
I don't think
violence.
any of us are ready, which makes us ready.
That makes us ready.
Bro.
Are we ready for the first spin of the wheel?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Spin that thing, how?
The first
Please don't be
spin.
me. Please don't be me.
Brandon spelled Civil War wrong, by the way.
Did I?
You spelled it C-I-V-L.
Dummy.
I'm so dumb.
I just noticed that.
Daniel Jones versus Anthony Richardson. Torin versus a random. Here we go.
Wait,
All right,
no,
I'm going to
put
remove
this
this,
down.
and now we're going to spin this
Put
wheel.
this down.
Fellas,
That was
I apologize to
done.
the
I hope
logo
it's
for
done.
spelling that wrong.
I hope it's not me.
The logo is very rushed. I'm going to
I
fix
hope
that.
it's
Does the random have to defend Anthony
Richardson.
Yeah.
The random is, if it lands on Torin, we'll respin.
I hope
I
it's
hate
done.
Anthony Richardson.
I hope it's
dude.
done. I
It
hope
is
it's done,
Nate
bro.
Harrington is defending Anthony Richardson. And Torin is defending Daniel Jones. Let me fix this real quick. This overlay with the logo. I apologize for spelling civil wrong. I was very rushed for time today.
Yo,
You
if
guys
Nate
get a
pulls
couple
this
minutes
off,
each
bro.
to prep here. I'll give you like 2-3 minutes. John and Jake, where
No,
do you
I'm not
guys
about to pull
lean
out
in
my
this
ass.
argument? This is a very good first topic. Torn gets to defend his top 15, top 10 quarterback in Daniel Jones. I don't know. I don't know where. I don't know how to really go about this.
Quite frankly, Daniel Jones has earned the starting role. Daniel Jones earned it. Anthony Richardson tapped him out of a game. What starting quarterback taps himself out of a game because he's too tired? He's been horrible. So is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was carried by Jonathan Taylor, quite frankly.
John, we
So
haven't
this will
seen
be
Anthony Richardson on a football field in a while.
It's
Do you
been
think
a
that's gonna
minute,
Right.
but like the potential, though. You know what I mean? All right, I just got rid of the
potential
logo.
doesn't matter
I
if
got
he
rid of the
doesn't
logo
get it,
entirely.
if he doesn't get there.
So that way, we don't look dumb with Civil War spelled wrong. I really apologize for that.
Bro, Nate's got to go to like the back.
I
half
spelled it
of
right
his,
in
like,
everything
of
else. It's
AR's
just that logo. I
sophomore
promise.
season, bro.
I'm not illiterate.
But he's got to go to Florida.
I swear I'm not illiterate. College scholarship student, by the way. I can't spell civil. Unbelievable. Dude, in this, I could defend both sides here confidently, I think, but it's like Nate's got a really hard argument to make here. And we as the judges can go off that too. Not necessarily what we agree with, but who makes the better argument. Because Nate has a harder argument to make here. I think we got to just kind of see the approach he has as he's pretending to be thinking and locked in here. Is he's really he's really just trying not to laugh.
This is a death sentence, bro.
And we could feel
This
free if
this,
we
I
need
feel
to
like I've just been given the death penalty.
for stuff we feel strongly about.
I'm good to go whenever you're ready, Nate.
If we need to, we can get a little heated here. But for the most part, let's keep this somewhat civil and just mainly not talking over each other all the time. But it is open mic. Whenever you guys are ready, Nate, I'm gonna give you like 30 more.
I want
seconds.
Torn to go first. Please, Torn, go first.
Well, you guys both. It's open mic, so it's not just one and
Torn,
one.
you're going
one.
first.
You can do it that way, but
I don't care. I don't
whoever
care.
has the
I want to
points
hear
to
what
make,
Torn
we
has
just
to
gotta.
say.
I'm gonna add an overlay to the screen right now that shows us actually what is being debated right at the moment.
Okay, before we get going, if I point out weaknesses, does that technically counter and hurt my argument, even if I'm trying to like?
I was also going to do that, so I don't think it does.
No. You're
Okay.
basically defending your quarterback by bashing the other one, or you can also
Oh, so we're
do
basically
you can
the
do
Good
your
Morning
QB
Show.
strengths as well. You whatever approach you want, whether it's
That is blasphemous. Now that right there, that is blasphemous.
you can be Stephen A. Smith.
I'm ready. Oh,
If
Alright,
you want to be
um,
Stephen A. Smith.
give me a good
As
dollar.
a start, Daniel Jones does not have more interceptions thrown than touchdowns. Anthony Richardson right now has an 11 to 13.
Well, Daniel Jones also has way more of a sample size than Anthony Richardson.
Still, in the 2 years that
Hey,
he's
we have to
had,
let
he's
this
had
man
a-
talk.
In
Hey,
the 2 years that
Judge,
he's had,
let him
he's
cook,
had
John.
a 50% completion percentage compared to Daniel Jones' 64.7%. Again, larger sample size, but still, 50% in 2 years is quite terrible. Do I see to keep going?
We don't want
you're
any
just gonna
dead
stop
air
there?
here,
I mean,
guys.
All right. Well, I mean,
I was about to
obviously,
say.
Anthony Richardson has more or like better footwork compared to Daniel Jones. We've seen this man stumble on like the 20-yard line against the Eagles or something. But overall, as a passer, I'd want Daniel Jones. Just his overall knowledge down the field. He doesn't need to rely on Jonathan Taylor, even though it's been shown that Jonathan Taylor
Well, dude,
is a very capable
We're
running
talking
back.
about Anthony Richardson, whose head coach was back end of the year Frank Reich, interim head coach in Jeff Saturday, and then an offense in Shane Steichen that like we never really got to see him fully play it.
You saw a Giants head coach in Brian Dable and Daniel Jones.
Yeah, who
led
got
them to the
one good
playoffs.
year out of Daniel Jones. They went to the playoffs once, threw that man a bag, and then he sucked again. You want to talk
Anthony
about
Richardson
carried?
hasn't been a
He was
capable
carried by
quarterback throughout
Saquon
his entire
Barkley.
career.
He
Anthony
fell on the
Richardson
20.
hasn't been
We're
a
talking about the
capable
guy that
quarterback
fell
his
on the
entire career.
20-yard line
What
on a
notable
house
stuff has he
call
done in
against the
2 years that
Eagles.
he's been in a court? In the 2
He
years
might not.
he's been a
Okay,
quarterback,
I'm not
he's
going to
done
say Anthony
nothing
Richardson
notable.
sat here and done anything like crazy over the top, but the flashes are there. Off-platform throws. We've seen this
He
man
hasn't
stand
even done
tall.
anything good.
We've seen
He
him.
had
Hold up.
in
What do
his
you mean? Do
best
you not
year,
remember
he
the
had a
touchdown
completion
to Alec
percentage
Pierce
lower than
against the
48%.
Texans in Week 1? Alec Pierce touchdown, stands in the pocket, off-platform back foot throw, damn near 60 yards downfield to Alec Pierce. Are we forgetting the elite
His
traits that this
completion
man
percentage
has?
was less than 48%. As a
Congrats,
quarterback, you
dude.
can't get it done if your
Look
completion
at Caleb
percentage is that
Williams.
bad.
You call it Caleb Williams is this. People say this great quarterback, but he has one of the worst completion percentages in the league. I need more than completion percentage here.
You still can't rely on a quarterback to be decent. And
Can
still
you
have
rely
an
on
awful-
Daniel Jones? Daniel Jones is like in many ways you're basically saying you want Tua.
If you had to pick between Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson,
I'm taking
you're
Anthony Richardson. Sure, I might not get the most efficient quarterback, but I'm getting a very high upside dual threat quarterback with one of the strongest arms in the league. He's super strong, over 240 pounds. The only thing he has to do is learn my offense. And that is super fixable. That is coaching. That is quarterback coaches. That is offensive coordinator. That is helping him through the system. That's offseason. I mean, like, I don't think we're
Daniel
acting like
Jones
Anthony
still, he's got
Richardson is just like
consistent
JJ
footwork. This dude's
McCarthy
pocket
levels of
presence
bad.
is elite. Like, this dude's pocket presence is
Did
pretty
you just say
low.
Daniel Jones has elite pocket? Okay.
No, I mean good. But it's way better than Anthony Richardson's. And just because
What?
you think Anthony Richardson has a better pocket presence than Daniel Jones?
Dude. I don't think Daniel Jones has such a great pocket presence where it's like, oh yeah, it's like miles ahead of Anthony Richardson. We've seen Daniel Jones make some very questionable plays this past year.
This dude took more sacks just because he's a riskier player. I don't want a running back as my quarterback. This dude, in his year, he threw for 1,800 yards, but had 500 rushing yards. He's a running back.
What's bad about that?
Quarterback.
Do you not like Lamar Jackson then? Lamar Jackson doesn't throw for over 4,000 yards half the time and has almost close to 500 plus rushing yards, but Lamar Jackson's considered a top 5 quarterback in the league. We've been having this argument. They said this about Josh Allen. They said he was inaccurate, couldn't throw the deep ball, that he was a running back. Josh Allen won an MVP and has made multiple playoff runs. You mean to tell me that Anthony Richardson couldn't get a Sean McVay level coach and be turned into arguably a really good to elite quarterback in this league?
I don't think he can.
We're talking about a guy that was drafted on upside, rushed into the starting role for a very bad Colts team that was super desperate to go on a playoff run. And because it hasn't clicked, by the way, he's still really young. I don't even think he's 25 yet. He was drafted quite young coming out of Florida. And we knew coming out of Florida that there was a lot of high risk, high reward with Anthony Richardson, just like a guy like they always toss us around now, but like Josh Allen. Josh Allen was super inaccurate, but he had the physical traits and he had that wow factor. Anthony Richardson has that wow factor. He just needs to be tweaked. It is a super fixable thing. And look at Josh Allen's
I'll
jump
be right back. Keep it going.
going from 2019, like going into 2019 and then going to 2020. Anthony Richardson, if you look at it with a good offseason and some good coaching, could easily take such a huge jump like that. Maybe not Josh Allen levels of jump, but like to go from where he's at now to being a very capable starter in the NFL, he could so do that in an offseason.
I just don't see it.
We're talking about Daniel Jones. We're talking about a bridge quarterback. Like Daniel Jones is not your franchise guy. Daniel Jones is just the guy that, okay, we might be able to win a couple games. Like there's reasons why they relied on Jonathan Taylor. And it's because Jonathan Taylor is so good at what he does. They're like, Daniel Jones, hit a slant, hit an occasional deep ball. Daniel Jones, you want to talk about running backs? How about every time Daniel Jones vultured in the red zone this year on quarterback sneaks? Daniel Jones at one point led one of the worst passing offenses in the red zone this year. All they did was run the ball in the red zone because Daniel Jones couldn't throw touchdowns.
Even then, he gets it done when it needs to get done. And when you saw him out,
quarterback sneaks at the 1 yard line, and you're like, "Oh, Anthony Richardson has 500 rushing yards." I don't want to hear my quarterback is a running back.
He is a running back. He is.
Your quarterback vultures 1 yard touchdowns at the goal line. Shut up.
That's just not true.
Yes, it is. Go watch this year. Literally, go watch the first half of this season.
All right,
there's nothing wrong with doing that.
Anthony Richardson and tell me, he's a better quarterback than Daniel Jones.
Look at the ups. If you're looking at face value, dude, I'm taking Anthony Richardson. If I'm going to go with my franchise guy, Anthony Richardson's younger. Sure, I might have to tweak a couple of things, but Daniel Jones wants big money just so he can be a serviceable Sam Darnold level of quarterback. I'm not taking, and Daniel Jones has prior injury history. So does Anthony Richardson. But like, we're talking about a guy that just tore his Achilles.
First time he's tore his Achilles.
He tore his Achilles. He has multiple injuries as well going back to the Giants, mainly from running. You want to talk about running quarterbacks? Daniel Jones, notorious runner and scrambler on the New York Giants.
Yeah, and that is New York Giants team led by Pat Schumer and Joe Judge.
Been here
They
2
suck.
He
minutes.
made that team decent.
What about Brian Dable? You say Brian Dable's
Been
still
here 2
good. They made the
minutes, and man,
playoffs
we got
one time, and
some
Daniel
time
Jones
to
didn't
on
do
a
much.
Thursday.
He
Yes,
didn't
sir.
do
RJ.
anything good. He didn't
He
do
led that
anything
team to
good.
the
That's why they
playoffs.
got ran.
He
Dude,
led
he
that team
didn't
to
do
the
anything
playoffs.
good.
He led
He
that
got
team to
carried.
playoffs.
Look at
He did not
he
get
had good.
carried to the playoffs.
He got good
They
enough
went
wide
14-4.
receivers, and look at
What are
he
you
has an
talking
elite
about?
running back.
They won
He
a
has an
playoff
elite
game.
running back. He had
Anthony Richardson
Saquon
never made
Barkley.
the
All right,
playoffs.
all right,
He'll
all
never
right,
make the
all right.
playoffs ever.
He had Saquon
Ever.
Barkley and a great defense.
Hey.
Daniel Jones is a much better and more capable quarterback than Anthony Richardson.
Any last
Hey,
points?
wait.
Any-
Each guy gets a final statement.
Any last points? Final statements. We gotta.
Final
Torrance
statement.
said my
Uninterrupted.
quarterback was a running back, but Daniel Jones is a proved run first quarterback who on both times that he's made the playoffs, and this year, even though they missed, they looked like they're going to make the playoffs, had a good enough defense with capable wide receivers and an elite running back where Daniel Jones didn't have to do much.
Anthony Richardson had the same running back.
Jonathan Taylor had injuries. Had one good year
So did Anthony
as a
Richardson.
Colt up until this year.
Anthony Richardson was also injured. This dude hasn't played a full season yet. Because he's either been injured or he's just awful. His vision is terrible. He's always a look down the field type of guy, not the 10-yard pass. He's always looking for the deep ball. That's why he throws so many picks, right? If you're looking at a quarterback and you're saying, ooh, do I start this guy or do I start this guy? I'm starting Daniel Jones. He's a much more capable, proven. His vision's better. His footwork in the pocket is better than Anthony Richardson's. And if I just wanted to start someone, I'd start Daniel Jones.
A crazy amount of glaze.
That's not glaze.
All right.
That's a crazy amount of
All right.
glaze.
Good job. Nate, I just want to first off ask you, was that like a hard argument to make? Like, did you in any way or shape or form believe that
It felt hard at first until this dude tore and said some really dumb shit.
There are some good points from both sides.
Running quarterbacks as he's trying to defend Daniel Jones. Come on.
All right, judges get to talk now. All right, so we got now. So we swap here. So
we each vote for one person.
Yeah, we can kind of give our thoughts first briefly. There's good points both sides. A great thing I didn't think of was that Anthony Richardson is yet to benefit from any form of peak Jonathan Taylor versus what we saw this year with JT. It was the first time he's played a full season since 2021. So that was good. And then the potential factor of Anthony Richardson as well, I would agree with if the Colts were in a worse situation, I guess. And also the fact that they just paid Daniel Jones. That's one thing that I thought would have been talked about a little more, is the fact that like Daniel Jones is now on a contract. So they're honestly more obligated to start him, and they clearly have more belief in him. Granted, the Colts may be, a bit prone to overpaying guys because they just gave it back to Alec Pierce, who might not even be better than Josh Downs. Actually, I should have added that to the wheel. But I don't know where you guys go. I also think Torrin, honestly, Torrin laid down the fundamentals that he needed to. I think personally, if I were to be managing a team right now, I would start Daniel Jones, and his ending statement evened it out. Before that, I was giving the edge to Nate. But I want to hear you guys. Where are you guys leaning here? Who do we get on this one?
I mean, yeah, they both made very good arguments for their respective sides. Of course, Daniel Jones has been a more proven quarterback. He also has a lot more experience and time in the league. I do agree with Nate, though, that Anthony Richardson really hasn't had like the full Jonathan Taylor effect. He hasn't had
played an NFL.
I'm talking now, boy.
He's barely played a full NFL
Judge
schedule.
Judge time. I appreciate it.
Anthony Richardson is still very young, like Nate said, and it's still a lot of untapped potential. with a high upside, where I agree that if he went to a system that had a Sean McVay or a Matt LaFleur or a Kevin O'Connell or even a Sean McDermott, that it would bring out a much better side in Anthony Richardson than I think the Colts currently have. Yeah, I don't know, Jake, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends a lot on what's the question here. Is it who's the better quarterback today? Who's the better future starter for the Colts? And I think Nate did a good job of obviously we all think I think most of us think Daniel Jones is a better quarterback, but Nate did a good job of making us see the upside of AR-15 in the future, and especially if he did have a solid coaching staff around him. And it's a really hard argument for him to make, and he's still it felt pretty even. I was actually oh shit, the
that was
points
a very
Nate's
good
making
debate,
is actually
guys. Great job.
That is the best debate we're gonna get all day.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna be.
was,
There's gonna be some cool ones on here. I think
There's another one between Nate and I.
there's some cool ones.
I think would be better.
If we had to
But,
vote, what are we thinking?
Well, so what's the question? Is it who's the better starting fit for the Colts?
Who put this on their form?
That was me.
What did
Daniel
you have
Jones
it
is a
as?
top 15. I put Daniel Jones as a top 15 quarterback, and that Anthony Richardson should start over Daniel Jones.
So it's okay.
as the opposing.
What you're saying is,
But I guess you
who
could
would
spin it as
so-
which one is the best? Who would you start right now?
Yeah, who would you start right
Okay.
now is probably the question. So, and that's kind of how they sounded like they were debating it anyway. The way Torrin closed out his debate on their final two statements, because I thought it was pretty even going into that. I thought Torrin gave the much better closing argument because he hammered home the fundamentals that he needed to for this type of argument to get the point across for Daniel Jones, because it's very easy to feed into certain semantics. I think Nate did a good job at that, getting them off topic, off the general consensus of just Daniel Jones is simply just a more proven NFL QB that coaches are literally putting their job on the line if they were starting Anthony Richardson over him. So if I had to vote, Nate also did have a very hard argument to make. It was very even going into those final statements, and I thought Torrin did a better job closing, so I am going to give it to Torrin if I had to vote. I don't know where you guys lean.
Do you want to be the deciding vote, John?
Why, are you split? Are you going Nate?
Well,
Go with who you think.
I still agree with the statement that Daniel Jones is a better quarterback, but I think
It's not off
Nate-
what we agree with. It's
I
off
think
the
I
argument.
think Nate's debating was incredible. I'm not even trying to glaze. It was really good. So I'm going to Nate.
Okay.
I think I would
And
have to
think Torrin
agree
did a
with
great
Jake.
job too.
I think I have to agree. The fact that Nathan was able to pull a debate out of his ass on the fly for Anthony Richardson, to defend Anthony Richardson in the 2026, and to be able to come up with a debate that fast and do such a well job. Torrin did a good job as well, Torrin. I'm not knocking your debate right there. You still did a very good job, but I think Anthony Richardson, defending him is much harder to do than defending Daniel Jones in the span of 2 minutes.
And
So
I think the fact that Nate made it an even debate is a win in itself.
That's
if that
fair.
makes
That's
sense.
a good point.
can I interrupt?
Yeah.
I know we got a lot of time,
No.
so I'm gonna say this for you. Going back to my thing about that year he made the Giants had 9 wins. Also, this was Saquon Barkley's second greatest year ever as a running back.
Yep. All right.
So
You won. You won.
yeah.
You won. You're good.
I know.
You won.
I'm still fuming over
Good
that.
job, guys.
I don't know if Torrin
That was
being
probably the most
serious,
even
but I
debate we're gonna have, and also probably that might be the longest one we have. I'm gonna try and
Good job,
keep
Sir
a little
Torrin.
down on time.
Good job, Nathan.
Congratulations, Nate, and great debate from both you guys. That was a great introduction kind of.
Dude, that
debate
was such
there.
a hard decision, bro.
Yeah, fair enough.
Dude,
The main
That
thing,
was
Nate,
hard to go
Nate,
off
you
that
lost
snap.
me when your closing debate was, and I quote, "There's a lot of glaze going on right now." That's when you lost me a little bit there, but
Well, dude,
that was a
dude,
very
this dude-
hard argument for you to make.
This dude Torrin's like, oh, Daniel Jones' footwork.
All
It's
right,
so good.
Here we
okay,
go.
I'm sorry.
next topic. We're spinning the wheel right now.
I want a break. I want.
Shout out RJ.
Oh,
Oh no.
Oh no.
oh, can Deshaun Watson still be a starter? Torrin, this is one
Oh,
you
this is
picked
me,
yourself
bro.
to debate. So you're defending Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
I really hope it's
Deshaun
John.
Watson.
I really hope it's John here to defend Shador Sanders. Please. I need this like I need
We
oxygen.
can wait. If we want to switch it off to someone, can we, or do we?
No.
Do we not wanna do that?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, it's Jake. It was almost John.
Okay.
Oh boy.
It's
Okay.
Jake. All right.
So what am I defend?
You're just
You're
defending.
defending
It's not
Shador
even. It's not
Sanders.
even Shador. It's just. Do you? It's a no. The debate is can Deshaun be a starter this year? Torn
Yeah,
saying
it
yes.
It always
You have to
comes
say
back to
no.
Shador
Can
Sanders.
he be a capable quarterback in the NFL?
Like yeah.
Okay.
Assuming this year.
The Big 27. The Big 26.
Guys, what do we think about this? Our judges.
I mean,
I think
I'm
Shador
gonna-
Sanders. I think Shador Sanders
you're not-
should
you're
start
not-
over Deshaun Watson.
Wait, no, you are a judge. I think Deshaun Watson should be the starter. I mean, there's such a great respect for Deshaun Watson in the quarterback room, I'd assume, because Shador Sanders recently has been floated around in some trade talks, and he even was going back to last year, so it's not necessarily like he's got the job locked up. So I'm also, as a biased Clemson fan, I'm gonna go with Deshaun Watson. But that's just for now.
You guys know how I feel about Deshaun. I love Deshaun Watson on the field. And on the field. And
You bring the
definitely, I think,
boom.
be a capable one. I'm not going to say why, because I don't want to help you then. I'm going to be typing in the chat for this one as a Steeler fan. All right, you guys are going to have RJ's kind of second opinion while you guys
Oh
are going.
man, RJ Morgan. I want him.
I'll
RJ,
occasionally,
bro,
I'll
no.
chip in, like, somewhat to read off what he's saying, but I'll also mainly kind of let you guys cook. But yeah, RJ, please feel free, get involved in this, because a division rival fan's opinion is very
If we
relevant
if
here.
we get Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, I would love to hear RJ Walgate's side of that.
I had
wanna
to I had
see
to
what
leave.
AJ
I had to
thinks-
leave
or
real
RJ, I want
quick.
to see what RJ thinks going into this.
Yeah.
If he thinks
Yeah.
that-
What's our?
Oh, yeah,
ask
RJ, going
who
in.
we
What is
think-
your real quick? What's your take on the question while they're prepping? Well, I had to go
I'm good to
AFK
go
to
whenever
grab
you
my
are.
laptop, so I can. This is what I'm going to use to.
I'm gonna grab a water real quick.
I want to show you guys my
All right.
setup here. So I actually have the stream
Nerd.
on my monitor. I have this monitor handling all the camera stuff, and then I have my laptop, and then I also have my mic and my phone. So we're kind of.
Yo, is that a custom keyboard?
It is not. It is a.
Custom.
What are these Steel Series? It's like an Apex Pro or something.
Custom. No, that shit's from Texas.
Is this how I had my camera before? Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I wasn't looking
It
at
like
you.
hinges on my monitor. It's a really weird one. It's not the best.
Also,
I do have a good
peeped
mic though. These
the,
Blue Yetis are tough. If you guys are looking for a microphone at any point for PC, the Blue
shameless
Yeti's the way.
plug, not sponsored.
We're not sponsored.
All right,
RJ's typing it right now. Fanger says only problem is if Deshaun starts playing again, he's gonna need more massages, and we know how that will go. That's a fair point. Honestly, Jake, you could use that.
Wait, what was his argument?
Fanger said only problem is if Deshaun starts playing again, he's gonna need more massagers, and we know how that will go.
This is true.
It is very true. RJ's currently typing his response. You guys, if you guys are ready, you can start.
I'm ready to go.
Wait,
John.
so wait, one more time. The argument is
You're just saying
Can
Deshaun.
Watson.
Torn's saying
Can
Deshaun
Deshaun
can
Watson
start
be a capable quarterback?
can be a capable starter. You're saying Deshaun can't be a capable starter at this stage of the NFL.
okay.
Like in the Big 26, you're basically saying in the Big 26, Deshaun Watson should not be a starting quarterback. Here's why.
All right.
Jake, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
It's up to you. It's up to you, Torn.
Torn gave
Alright,
this
well-
one. I'm surprised. I don't think he put John's name down for the other side because he didn't want to deal with Shador Sanders' rage bait, maybe.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Oh. I already
just
have
said
it.
anybody
I
but
wish
John.
we landed on John so bad because
Oh, Deshaun Watson is not a capable quarterback because Shador Sanders is. gonna
yes,
be
you're
taking-
right. Was good starting 9. Oh, this is the dude from Instagram. I was talking to you about. He might come out to FOP. That's gonna be sick.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, when is
I'll do
FOP, by the way?
August 16th.
Are we doing 2 teams?
We're gonna have to.
Heck yeah.
We have too many people. Jake
Why
want
don't
Jake
you
and
Oh, yeah,
Hunter
why
want.
are
we-
you guys going?
We
Oh yeah, and
we
John.
are
So now
there.
we have 9. We have 9 now.
You could give
If not-
Watson 9 more.
Someone would make
Nine.
10.
One more.
Someone like Caleb, if you want Jake, would like make 10 probably.
Yeah, Caleb can play.
Alright,
Or actually, I
Why
don't know
would
if
we
he
make
can.
teams?
Here's what RJ said. Here's my take.
Okay.
He absolutely should start. It's a guy you paid 400 plus mil, sacrificed a ton of your future by giving up all that cap room for. I don't care what you think
All right,
about his skills.
That is one of my points.
That's a
that
great
I'm
take,
gonna be
RJ.
making.
All
It's
right, go
the
ahead,
fact that
fellas.
That contract that he's on, you can't just like toss that out of the window. And Cleveland, like when he's played, he hasn't been that superstar that they brought him on to be. Like he's been just okay and gotten hurt every year. The problem is he just needs to stay healthy. If he stays healthy this year, I'm not saying he's going to go back to his form when he was in Houston, but he can be a guy that can, throw 3,000 yards, can be a capable quarterback and be the quarterback that the Browns need him to be. Because ever since we saw what happened when he wasn't there last year. They went through 3-4 quarterbacks last year. They went through Joe Flacco, Shadur Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel. Like when you're rotating quarterbacks like that, it's never good for a franchise. And now that Deshaun's healthy, he needs to be the guy to step up and be like, we need to start winning. And they can with that roster.
RJ, I muted on the call, but that is a
receiver room
great
that they
point,
can
and I'm going to
take
butt in
over.
a second to
Like
tell him
his
that.
weapons
but
now compared to when he played in 2022.
If Jake uses that, he honestly might
vastly
win
different.
the whole debate.
And having a
If
running
Corn
back,
uses that, he
having
honestly
a
might
good
win the
wide
whole
receiver
debate.
room,
Probably will.
them drafting
If he
2 wide receivers
uses the
in
logic.
first and second round helped them big time. I think that Deshaun's going to utilize that and be a capable quarterback this year.
I think just because you've paid so much for this guy doesn't mean you need to throw away a year on a guy who's hasn't played in the league in 4 years. Like you said, he's already got injury concerns, and we're not talking about a guy that's washed. He's super washed. He hasn't touched a football in forever, and you're just expecting that guy to go in and start day one. When you have guys like Shadur Sanders who. I know his interception to touchdown ratio wasn't great, but that's a guy who's touched a football and actually played. I'd rather have a guy like that getting more experience in a second year, than risking it on a guy who I don't know where he's at even. I understand.
My problem is with that is that when your head coach comes out in an interview and says we can't be throwing picks in 7-on-7s, referencing Shadur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, that's a big question mark right off the bat. When your head coach publicly states we can't be throwing interceptions in 7-on-7s, that's a big red flag right off the bat. So that already puts the heat on Deshaun Watson to step in and come back to where he was. Now, he's not going to be the guy that throws 4,000 yards again, and we know that. But he can step in and throw 2,500, 3,000 yards. It would be a shock.
I don't know if he can do that. He hasn't played in the league in 4 years.
He's
I haven't
played.
seen
It
crap
just
from
hasn't
him.
been healthy. He just hasn't been healthy. That's the problem.
He's been getting too many massages, man.
Real, but if he stays healthy and produces with the offense that he has now compared to what he had 3-4 years ago, the difference is vast, and he's going to take over.
That's my thing.
It's not like he's just gone. He's still putting in the work. It just hasn't been shown on the field yet.
That's my thing.
It's not just he throws it away. He's still working. He's playing well from what I've seen. He'll be starting. He'll be the starter day one over Shadur, over Dylan Gabriel. And the fact that they're shopping the other quarterbacks showcases how much faith they have in him, right? If you're sending out, we might shop Shadur Sanders, we might shop Dylan Gabriel, that just showcases how much faith the head coach has, the general manager has, and the fans have an impact on that too. If they see their quarterbacks being shopped, they're going to instantly think, this guy's shit. He's not going to play. That's immediately what I would think.
That's fair. I just think I don't understand why you'd. I just think Shadur Sanders needs to start this year. I think he needs to be given a second year to prove himself. When you have a guy that hasn't played in so long, I understand. You're expecting. Is this supposed to be your quarterback of the future, Deshaun Watson? This dude in a regular career would be on the downswing of his prime. It's basically like he's picking up a football again because he hasn't played in so long. And that's where I'm confused because you're supposed to have all this faith in this guy that has not played. Meanwhile, I know what Shadur can do on the field, and I know he can improve on that. And I think and even who you said Kevin Stefanski said that, right? They're getting a new coaching staff.
No, Tom
I think they could turn that around. I think they can turn it around with Shadur better than Deshaun Watson because I just don't know what he can do on a football field right now.
I mean, that's what the preseason's for, and what like training camp is for. You're going to see which quarterback plays better. And once they start seeing that Deshaun Watson is a capable quarterback again, they're going to realize, hey, I need to start this guy. He's only like he'll be 31 once he starts up again, but that's not terribly old for a quarterback. You know, Josh Allen is 30. Mahomes is around 30. So is Joe Burrow and all those guys. Like those quarterbacks are in their prime at 30. Deshaun Watson, in my opinion, is past his prime. Like he's never going to return to what he once was. But that doesn't mean he still can't lead an offense like the Cleveland Browns and lead them to a winning record, possibly a wild card team. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I believe that this guy can throw for 2,500, 3,000 yards and lead an offense in a better way than Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel can.
That's fine if you believe it, but I want to
welcome in.
I want to
Dylan.
see tangible
I really
proof
appreciate
within
all the
the
combo
last
in the
3
chat's really good.
years
Keep it
that
going.
shows
Sorry.
anything of the sort, and I just can't. There's just none there. And I think you got a guy like Shedeur Sanders that can make those franchise throws. He can make those big plays in big moments. And again, this kind of goes back to Anthony Richardson on its micro level, but the flashes of brilliance are there. And if we can get a coaching staff in there that has faith in him and trusts him, gives him another year, an opportunity, see what happens. Maybe you make the wild card.
Yeah,
very
but
possible.
When your leading quarterback is throwing more picks than touchdowns, that just automatically puts you at a disadvantage. We haven't seen a guy throw. The last time we saw someone throw similar to that was Jameis's 30 for 30.
Any final points?
Deshaun Watson's going to not be back to what he once was, but he'll be a capable quarterback just because of the quarterback room he has surrounding him. He'll be that starter, and once they start utilizing him in the system properly, he'll be that starter and playing well.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hammering home the same point, but I just like maybe Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders or any other option they have, but I just haven't seen him recently, and I don't know how you. I know you're paying this guy all this money. I don't know how you could trust him to go in day one and be the starter. That's my issue.
All right, fair debate. I'm gonna get started. There's some great conversations in the chat as well. RJ, Fanger, Dylan's in here, starting 9, all these guys. I personally want to give my thoughts first. Torrin, I thought you absolutely cooked that debate there. You hammered home all the points. You even went beyond certain points, talking about them shopping these quarterbacks, fans playing parts into those roles. Those are really great debate points. You covered like all different areas of what it means to be a starting quarterback for a team, and I think that's really important. And you didn't even cover everything. There were things we talked about in the chat, how, for example, now Deshaun Watson walking onto this Cleveland team finally has a decent enough supporting cast instead of throwing to Jerry Jeudy, Denzel Boston, and KC Conception, Quinshon Judkins if he's able to play this year, depending on his injury. Great tight end duo in Fannin and David Njoku as well.
And Dylan Sampson out the backfield too.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of different things there. And the main thing, the points that Jake was trying to make, I didn't necessarily agree with. I don't believe Shedeur's really shown. I don't see the flashes or the big time throws. RJ had a good point in the chat. He said Shedeur QB'd a 4-win Browns team and underperformed at Colorado. Ain't no big time throws from this kid. I kind of agree with that. So I'm going to put my vote in right away for Torrin. I do think it was a pretty tough argument for Jake to make, and maybe I'm a little biased, but I thought as objective as I can be from a debate standpoint, I thought Torrin just presented like a unbelievable argument. If I was a pro Shedeur Sanders guy or on the fence before this, like he probably could have convinced me that Deshaun should start. I don't know how you guys feel.
Yeah. I just want to say, Jake, that's a very tough spot to be in.
Very, yeah.
Especially for the team that we're talking about. I agree with Brandon. I'm going to keep it very brief on that. Torrin, you nailed a lot of the stuff and went beyond.
I don't know,
but my comment, not to say like I'm obviously gonna vote Torrin. I think he had the better argument. I think he hit everything again very well. I would just like to look at it from a flip side too. Regardless of who starts, I don't know. Like I wouldn't call it. I'm not going to try and call it outright tanking, but I do think the Browns aren't are still. I don't think they're there yet, regardless of who starts at quarterback. So I think this could just be a bridge year deal, whether it's Sanders or Watson, and then they go out and get like a Jeremiah Smith or like an Arch Manning next year. But overall, you crushed that debate, Torn.
Yeah, Torn, good job. Jake, also, good job for defending my GOAT. My love, Shador Sanders.
Tried my very best.
Now we can't look past the fact in the same sample size, Deshaun Watson and Shador Sanders have almost identical statistics. If not, Shador Sanders maybe having better numbers in a sense. Now, I mean, Torn, you gave me that look. I mean,
Sanders does not have better stats in Cleveland compared to.
I mean, in 2022, Shador or Deshaun Watson's first season as a Brown after the suspension, he didn't get first team reps. Shut up. I'm talking here, boy. I'm talking because you're gonna hear in a second.
God.
All right. In 2022, Deshaun Watson was suspended. He didn't get first team reps. He didn't get training camp. He didn't get any of that practice stuff. Shador Sanders, he didn't get first team reps. He didn't get time to start with the starters up until mid-season when the Browns were already trash. In that season, Deshaun Watson only threw for 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 5 picks. This past season, Shador Sanders had 1,400 yards, 7 tugs, and 10 picks. It's not a large difference in statistics between the two.
Oh my god! All right,
it's pretty much the battle of mid.
We are waffling right now. You one of those quarterbacks 2 seasons ago led the league in passing.
It's not ridiculous to say that Shador Sanders.
No. One of those QBs 2 years prior led the league in passing with Will Fuller as his wide. No. Will Fuller and Brandon Cooks as his wide receivers. We're not doing this.
And then touched one too many masseuses.
This is blasphemy.
And then touched one too many masseuses.
All right, we're moving on. We
peaked
peaked during that debate at 9 viewers in the chat. We currently got 8. We got a lot going on in the chat. I really appreciate all you guys. We're going to move on to the next topic because that almost made me blow a fuse. John finally got to do his rage bait segment with Shador Sanders there, and it totally worked because I am no. Oh,
here
we go, Chad.
I want this one off, bro. Give me some time off.
Christian Gonzalez. Nate, it's the Christian Gonzalez one. It's a random versus random. Someone has to defend that Christian Gonzalez is the CB1 of the NFL.
Oh fuck!
Good luck.
You're so cooked. Whoever it is
put this one on here.
Please, God, please don't be me. Please be Torn.
Oh, it's Nate! Nate has to do it! Nate has to do it! And here's who is defending who is not.
Please be Torn.
And it is, I think it's gonna be, it's Torn. Torn again. Dude, Torn, you have an easy ass argument here, though. You have an easy argument.
You got a super easy argument here, dude.
Nate, I'm curious to see how you make this argument.
Christian Benford.
What is my argument?
That Gonzo is not CB1 in the NFL. It's a very easy argument to make.
Just say Christian Benford.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. PS2, you got Benford.
PS2. Terry and Arnold.
No, okay. Quinyon Mitchell might be better than Christian Gonzalez.
Derek Stingley.
Dude,
bro. Why are you
Witherspoon?
Bro, why are you pointing out names?
This is your argument.
Well, yeah, I said this purely for the love of the rage bait. I didn't expect for this. I was expecting to watch 2 other people debate this. All
right, judges.
If we're able to have Brandon Crow talk about
I think
Jalen
hell
Hurts.
no, but I'm curious to see this. Nate's rage bait went against him, and I'm curious to see. It almost landed on me, and I almost shit myself.
I feel like Nate's in a similar spot as the AR-15 argument, so this one might be more cooked though.
Why is it just Nate and I, bro?
Yeah.
Dude, Torn's been in every single one.
Torn, I will. If it lands on you next, I will respin. If it's random. If it lands on one of your topics where you put yourself, though, you got to do it.
Bro, Torrance farming experience.
Also, yes, right Benford. Now. I love my. Oh yeah, by the way, Start at 9 is a Bills fan. He is a Bills fan. I saw that on his Instagram. His name's JD, by the way. I should call him by name. His name's JD. I had to double check.
Shout out JD, man.
Shout out JD. been supporting us in our Leafs endeavors, so it's pretty cool. And he is a Bills fan. Gonzo's good. PS2's there's an argument for Gonzo not being top 5. So I'm really curious to see what Nate does here. Now the impact.
Who made this one?
Nate did, and he wanted to set someone up, and he set himself up. There's a 1 in 5 chance, and it landed on him. Yeah, from Roch. So I was pumped when I originally found out about Sully being an MLW.
Oh yeah,
Hey, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it.
Anyway, yeah, all right. So we need to get into this.
all right.
We're 45 minutes
Well,
into
I'll
the
start.
live, so
Correct.
I'll start just to be quick.
we did
you know,
unfortunately
I
start
don't-
late.
you-
Well,
you
Jake,
can
at
make
least
this
now
like
you
a
don't got to
2
go to
minute
bed
if you
like
want.
as early now.
Go ahead,
That's true.
Torrin. I'm interested.
We got a lot of
We're gonna
viewers,
go,
so
we're
like
gonna
we
start.
can just go.
We're
We
gonna
can
start.
keep going.
Go,
Dude.
Torrin,
We have
go.
9 viewers right now.
That's all right.
Dude, I gotta
Alright.
think of some. Well, the first thing I'm gonna push is longevity. And even though Pat Surtain only played 2 more years, technically 3 if you want to get realistic, because Gonzo only played 4 games in his rookie year.
Mhm.
I think you can only make an argument that he's the best if he's played a decent amount of years.
That's
I don't
fair,
think-
but there's other
I don't
things
think-
that you
I
can
don't
use
think
to
2
determine the
years
value of a corner, and it's
You
not
can.
just being on the field. Because we are about to look at something called EPA, and we're going to look at the Patriots' team defense EPA with and without Christian Gonzalez. Now, with Christian Gonzalez, the Patriots are usually top 3
Chat, okay, this is
in
the point
EPA
I
per
was gonna
play
make, and I
and
stopped myself
EPA
just
per
now
pass.
while they were doing
So this
prep, so I
shows
didn't want to
that
help
Christian
Nate.
Gonzalez
This is the
is a
only shot Nate
huge
has to
factor
win. I'm gonna
to
let him
this
talk.
New England Patriots defense. Without them, they drop almost to the lower half to going towards the lower half of the charts in EPA without Christian Gonzalez. Christian Gonzalez is also one of those shut down sticky man corners. I'm not going to say he's great in press, because I personally think Derek Stingley's the best one, and I know that's not relevant to this. But Christian Gonzalez, as a lockdown corner, holds most of the time quarterbacks to under 45% of passes that are thrown towards him, which is pretty good for someone that we're saying is the number 1 corner in the NFL. And he has regularly shut down guys like Jamar Chase. He's held A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith both to very minimal yards when they come to New England. And against quarterbacks, he usually has a very low completion percentage when targeted. And he usually, when healthy, he has double-digit pass breakups and is very tight in coverage.
Yeah, but he's just not as good as some other guys, like including Pat
In what
Surtain.
way? In what way? What does Pat Surtain do? Like, really? Of course, he's a great corner, but he has a really elite defense. He has Hufanga. He has Sean Payton to benefit off of. He has a really good pass rush with someone that damn near just won Defensive Player of the Year in Nick Batonio, or Benito, however you say his last name. They got a great pass rush in Denver.
Benito.
We saw firsthand how good that defense is in this recent Bills playoff game, did we not? Multiple turnovers for us, making Josh Allen have arguably his worst playoff game we've ever seen. And then if you go through that same exact playoff stretch, you look at a guy like Gonzo, who's doing more for a defense that, sure, it was good, but you would argue, like I said, he's so much more valuable than any other player on that defense for them. He shut down JSN in the Super Bowl, regardless of what you want to say about how hot Kenneth Walker was. When they threw it that way, there wasn't anything, like there was nothing. Gonzo had him in hell. He shut down he shut down anyone that you want to talk about, regardless of weather and situation, against the Broncos and the Chargers. He's on every team's number 1. He's a shutdown corner. Teams, it's like Sauce Gardner. They don't look his way. He has high breakups. He's really tight and sticky in man coverage, and he has low passer rating and a higher EPA when he's on the field. I mean, it goes to argue, like, when healthy, is Christian Gonzalez the best cornerback in the league? I would argue yes, for as good as Patrick Surtain is.
I mean, he's up there, but in my opinion, he's just not as good. I mean, Pat
In what way?
Surtain has been consistent. Like, when you look at consistency, Gonzo's only been good for, 2 years? What's to say he can't get hurt and just stop?
What's the same? Why can't we just say the same thing about Pat Surtain at that point? What if Pat
Yeah, but
Surtain
he's been
suffers
playing
a
for 5
career
years
alter
compared to 2
injury?
years, right? Let's see.
So
The Pats sucked the Pats would suck without Gonzo on their team. The Pats would suck.
Yeah. Yes, they
but
would.
You can make the same argument with Pat Surtain. You can make the same
No.
case with the Jets.
They have such a
lost
more
Sauce
complete
Gardner.
defense around them. If they lost Pat Surtain, sure, it's like the Browns losing Myles Garrett. You can't replace that, but they still have a really good defense. The only thing, like, like you just said, the Patriots, if they lost Christian Gonzalez, would like that's a huge loss. They wouldn't have a good defense. Who's going to shut down the number one on other people's teams? They don't have a good pass rush. They have all right linebackers. They don't name someone else in the secondary. Marcus Jones, all he does is punt return. Are you like, come on? And what, we're going to rely on 1 year of Marcus Jones playing somewhat decent in the slot to be like, oh, yeah, Christian Gonzalez isn't that valuable. Jordan Hawkins? Are we serious? A safety? What, Marty Mapu? A box safety that they converted to linebacker? Like, come on. Dude, there's more talent alone on the Broncos backups than there is on the stars of the Patriots, you could argue. The only reason they did is because they had a good scheme. They got Mike Vrabel, who was able to piece together a good scheme for them. But, like, come on. That's not Sean Payton.
I'll just go ahead and take the loss on this one.
Holy shit. This is the problem. That Torin, low-key, I just don't think you talked enough. You just that's the one thing with these. You can't let one person
I was scared that I was going to keep double back and repeating myself.
There were so many things you could have brought to the table. First of all, you were too hyper-fixated on Pat Surtain. You didn't even there's more of an argument that Gonzalez may not even be top 5 in the league. But even just being hyper-fixated on Pat Surtain, do you remember that old graphic of Darrelle Revis, notable receivers he held under like 30-something yards? They made one of those of Pat Surtain the year he won DPOY. That's the thing. He won DPOY as a corner, and you didn't even mention that he won Defensive Player of the Year in your argument. Oh my goodness. But yeah, dude, Nate brought some great things to the table, but honestly just lost because I felt like you just let him kind of dominate the conversation. There wasn't even much of a case to be made. It was just one side. We were stunned in the chat here. Fager said only Torin could lose this debate.
Brandon, I peeped at Brandon's camera and I was like, oh God, I feel like it's like Joe Rogan when he's calling a UFC knockout, bro. He's like,
name, dude, when you said name someone else in the Pat secondary and Torin sat there like this, I knew he was done. It was
or when Torrance said that if they lost Christian Gonzalez, the Patriots would suck.
And then said, oh, look at the Jets defense after they lost Sauce Gardner. That's like the last thing you should have said in that situation because they were already like no. I don't know. I points to Nate. I don't know how you just pulled that off, but
pulling rabbits out the hat today, dude.
Man, Torn, you could have ate him alive there. Honestly, the plate might have been too big in the sense that there was so much to go against that you didn't really know what, and you got hyper fixated on something. It just sounded like Nate had more of a clear scope to make in his head for his argument, but no, we got to give that to Nate. That was insane performance right there.
First thing I did is I typed in EPA defensive Patriots.
I don't know what else you guys have to say about this, but that was nuts.
Bro. Dude, if Nate did that in that position, I do not want to be in a debate with Nate, bro.
The 1 seed just lost to the 7 seed. That's what we just witnessed right here.
Yeah, I agree with what Brandon said. It's just like when the other person isn't talking as much and the other person's like just bringing up points like over and over. I think that's what I did in my last debate. Like I didn't.
Yeah. I was saying Torn was good with that the last two, especially the one against you. The last one, Torn was the opposite of that.
The quieter you are, it's just harder. It's harder to know what your argument is, and Nate
that's just a prep one as well. I could tell Torn felt a lot stronger about the Deshaun Watson one, so he had a lot more to say. Versus this one, it's a very on the spot one, and he's gone 3 times in a row. You're definitely getting a break here. Don't worry.
Good.
But yeah,
Torn, he's gonna rest up.
Points are going to Nate. I think we can move on.
We needed Brandon John debate, bro.
Yeah, we still have
Nate,
7
Torin,
we do.
Torin, I don't
Oh.
think there's anything. Torin, I don't think there's anything for me to say. I don't know.
I was gonna
That
say-
Brandon, you can,
We
Brandon,
have
there's
7
got to be a. There's
Huh?
definitely one of you versus John that's like a preset, not random, that we could do.
I mean, I definitely
there's some
can't say that
Jalen
I
Hurts-
do
there's
any
some
better,
Jalen
Torin.
Hurts stuff.
I'm definitely gonna cook myself here a little bit, but
There's,
All right, let's do it.
there's some Jalen Hurts stuff, but we still got 7 viewers, lively chat. We peaked at 10 during that debate, so shout out you guys. Anyone in the stream who's not already, be sure to leave a like, sub. JD subbed like right before the stream went up, so really appreciate that, JD. Let's get into next wheel. All right, next topic. Ooh.
Please no.
Oh, this is a good one.
Please no.
Matt Stafford or Aaron Rodgers all time? Who's higher all time? Random versus
That's
random.
another one of my prompts.
Random versus random. This is a
Wait,
good
Matt
debate.
Stafford or who?
Matt Stafford
Aaron
or Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers
Aaron
all
Rodgers.
time. This is
Wow.
a very good debate. I hope I get Stafford. This was first
Can
for
I-
A-Rod,
can I-
though. This is for
Can I
A-Rod.
spectate this?
Yeah, no, you're...
Good.
Oh my god, it landed on you. I'm respinning. I'm respinning. I'm respinning.
Yo.
Yo.
you know how like when you do like the
Alright,
lottery ball
John,
machines, it's
John,
like
you are defending Aaron Rodgers.
ooh,
And
all right.
Matt Stafford will be defended by Jake. Jake will defend Matt Stafford. I still haven't gone yet.
Oh gosh.
This is one of the prompts that I put down, just like Christian Gonzalez. So I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say.
We got a lot of people in the chat believe Rodgers. If I had to go like band for band, I would say Rodgers. But I also think I could give a very good argument. I think I could honestly debate on behalf of Stafford better because I'm pro a lot of his skill set things. Because I think Megatron's the best receiver of all time, I think I could defend Matt Stafford better. I think that those can kind of go hand in hand. Like I'm hoping we get the Megatron debate on here because I feel really strongly about that. But
I feel like it's gonna have to get brought up though.
yeah, I'm not going to help someone to make an argument, but there could be some things that you could bring in with supporting cast and things they've done to create players and whatnot. But this is a really good one. There recently, it's obviously gotten a lot closer, but I mean, Rodgers is probably the most talented quarterback we've ever seen play the game. Most talented.
Can I bring up
Well,
something
I mean-
off topic?
I mean, I'm ready whenever Jake is. I mean,
most
Can I bring up
talented
something
arm
off
for
topic
sure.
real quick?
Yeah.
1 sec. John.
Jason Robertson, the
No
guy
worries.
that I want for the Sabres, got traded to Seattle and got offered an 8-year, $15 million deal and turned it down. Turned down 8 for 15.
Wow.
That is one of the highest. That
I would
make
say
him
that's
the
a lot of
highest-
money in the
highest paid
NHL.
Players.
That's a lot of
He
money.
Turned it down because he doesn't want to go to Seattle.
Yeah, guy has 4 MVPs at face value. That's what I mean. But there's definitely
Alright.
my uncle has a really good take here.
Oh, that's a good take.
Rodgers
I like that.
played in the cold, Stafford played in the dome and with Megatron and won nothing. Gotta thank A-Rod. The weather is ooh. See,
All right, John.
that's my uncle Scott right there. If you guys
Alrighty.
don't know, that's my Nate. That's the guy we went to the Bills game with a few years back. All right, are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right,
You can go first, John.
All right. Aaron Rodgers. All right, I have to defend Aaron Rodgers, right? Aaron Rodgers, no doubt, the most talented quarterback to ever touch the football field. Aaron Rodgers has been able to make throws consistently throughout his career that no other quarterback can make. Multiple Hail Mary touchdowns, two against the Arizona Cardinals, and one was called back and completed one right afterwards. Yes, he's only won 1 Super Bowl, so has Matthew Stafford. Of course, Matthew Stafford has worked with, you could say, less, but Matthew Stafford has also produced 2 of the best wide receiver seasons ever. But Aaron Rodgers, aside from having Devontae Adams in his last couple of MVP seasons and Jordy Nelson and Donald Driver early on in his career, Aaron Rodgers has had to carry his offense through most of his career, I would have to say. His defenses alone, he's only had one top 10 defense in his entire career. And he's won one Super Bowl. His team was not able to draft around him to build pieces around Aaron Rodgers to make sure that he was able to keep his team at the top of the league while he was also trying to battle guys like Breeze on the Saints, Brady on the Patriots. Later on in his career, you started getting newer guys on the AFC side, which was Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Matthew Stafford joins the Rams on a super team, which is when he finally won a ring, when he finally won a Super Bowl.
From Matthew Stafford, by the way.
You are right. I agree with you. Matthew Stafford, I'm not docking him. He's a tremendous quarterback. He's definitely one of the all-time greats. But you can't say that Matthew Stafford is greater than Aaron Rodgers when he really couldn't produce in Detroit. Don't get me wrong, Detroit's rosters have always been pretty bad. Aaron Rodgers was getting no help either. His offenses have always been top of the league with him at the helm. His defenses are really what's held him back all of these years. All the years that you look at the scoreboards and the box scores when it comes to his playoff runs, his MVP seasons, it's all been his offense is top of the league, and then defense, his highest ranked defense was 9th in the 2010s decades. That's the highest ranked his defense has ever been. The rest are in the top 15s to 20. He hasn't had a dominant defense like Tom Brady did, like Matthew Stafford on the Rams has. He's had Aaron Donald, and then even then Sean McVay has been able to produce and draft such great defenses that he could score on the offense and not really worry about it when he steps on the field because they still have a 2-score lead. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers is greater than Matthew Stafford all time.
There's just no way. I love how in that entire 2-minute segment or whatever, you mentioned his entire time in Green Bay. And yeah, he's had a great career in Green Bay. But you look at these guys are similar age. You take Matthew Stafford on the Lions. I think he didn't have a Super Bowl, but he had amazing statistics with the Lions and a overall macro, like on a macro scale, the yards, the touchdowns, all that. Very similar to what Rodgers did in Green Bay. But then you take Rodgers' career with the Jets and the Steelers, and it's been a shit show. We all know it has been. He just hasn't produced. But then you take Stafford, who's gone to a second team and has won a Super Bowl with them, and that's what was holding him back originally. And you could even argue he might be hitting his prime now, which is crazy because he's 38 years old. And these guys are of similar age. Stafford is aging like fine wine. He still has great seasons ahead of him to prove himself. Rodgers' career is in the back mirror. He's done all he can do. And if you ask me right now, Stafford's a greater quarterback because of that, because he's been able to be successful at 2 different places.
So you want to compare trading Aaron Rodgers to the Jets to trading Matthew Stafford to the Los Angeles Rams, who when he started there had Aaron Donald on that defense and a lot of younger guys. Was Todd Gurley still a Ram?
You can't tell me the New York Jets
he wasn't. He was a
bad
Falcon.
when he was there.
It wasn't the defense,
they got
though.
the wide
What did he
receivers
have
that
on
he wanted,
offense?
Devontae
His
Adams.
first season, by the way, his first season in New York, he got his Achilles pop.
I believe just
His first
Todd
game as a
Gurley
New York
retired
Jet.
that year, I think. So I just wanted to.
Retired that year. I knew he was a Falcon at one point in the 2020s.
I think his final year was 2020.
He goes to the Jets. He pops his Achilles in his first year.
That's
He's
very unfortunate.
he's
but
what?
that's
He's
a
like
part of
he's
the
like
game.
40 at that point almost. He comes back the next year, has very positive statistics, but then again, you're playing for the Jets, who don't have much on offense. Goes to the Steelers the next year, makes the playoffs. He makes the playoffs with DK Metcalf
One
is
Jets season
arguably
very
his number one
comparable
receiver.
to Stafford's entire career with the Lions, and he had much more success. He was able to make the playoffs. A lot
Can
of
you name me one notable thing that Matthew Stafford has done, aside from, I guess you could say, Calvin Johnson's greatest season ever? Name me one super individual notable thing that Matthew Stafford has done before getting traded to a super team.
I mean, you got me on the spot, but I think he's been I think he's had great numbers in terms of just the amount of touchdowns he's had with the limited receiving core. I understand Megatron was there for a couple years, but he has put up consistent numbers with a inconsistent roster year in and year
And
out.
I completely agree with you, but why is that argument not held? I mean, you could throw that same statement out at Drew Brees or Tom Brady. Sure, Tom Brady had Randy Moss in 2007. He had freaking a glorified slot receiver in Julian Edelman, who was really just a playoff standout. If we're talking about not really getting help, Aaron Rodgers had Devontae Adams for the back end of his time there in Green Bay, and then between that, he had Jordy Nelson in the early 2010s, who was also getting older by the time he was really hitting his prime as a starting quarterback. And then after that, they started drafting first-round quarterbacks and defensive linemen. They weren't helping him out on offense either. Aaron Rodgers solely had to carry that Green Bay Packers team to the success that they had in the 2010s.
That's fair, and I think you're not. I think you're not giving Stafford enough credit for what the offense is because of him. I don't think he came in to a super team. I think he was the piece that created the super team. He was the engine behind all the great receivers. Like I don't think Puka is the receiver that he is if you put Aaron Rodgers at that age in that offense. I just don't agree. And I think
Aaron Rodgers is getting older, and he is on the back end of his career. But Matthew Stafford also came into a team that 2 years prior made the Super Bowl and only lost by 3 points to Tom Brady and the Patriots with Jared Goff at quarterback.
You look at the offensive side. I don't think it is what it is without him for the Rams, and that he won that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean Matthew Stafford. Like I said, I'm not docking Matthew Stafford's greatness. He's a great all-time great quarterback. He just hasn't been able to do the things Aaron Rodgers has done.
What has Aaron Rodgers done that Stafford can't do?
Multiple MVP seasons, a Super Bowl win with a team that didn't even have his best-ranked defense at the time. Aaron Rodgers then went to the Jets. Sure, he played like crap. Name me a quarterback since Mark Sanchez that's been able to turn the Jets around. And then he goes to Pittsburgh and makes the playoffs his first year as a Pittsburgh Steeler and is back for another year at 43 years old, 42 years old.
I just think this era of Rodgers and Stafford is comparable right now, and I think you could argue that in Stafford's time with the Lions and the Rams, I think he's had arguably 2 Hall of Fame careers. You can't say the same thing with Rodgers.
Yeah, because Rodgers played 20 years on the same team.
The success he had in Green Bay. You could only do it.
You can't replicate the success he had in Green Bay. Exactly. Matthew Stafford couldn't be what Aaron Rodgers was. Matthew Stafford, no offense to Matthew Stafford, he's great and all, in my honest opinion. Matthew Stafford doesn't even tie Aaron Rodgers' cleats. It took him 20 years to win a Super Bowl, and he had to get there with an already built team around him. Aaron Rodgers had to build the Packers team in 2010 to win a Super Bowl.
Man. That's what people don't understand. He's the engine behind that offense that won them that Super Bowl, and I think you could argue he's going to win another. What happened? And what happens when he wins 2? Is he still a better? Is Rodgers still a better quarterback than him? Come on, man.
Are we sure though that it wasn't the Rams defense that won them that Super Bowl? Joe Burrow had them on the ropes the entire time, and all it took was Aaron Donald disrupting a play, the final play of the Bengals' offensive drive in that Super Bowl to end that game. It wasn't Matthew Stafford. It wasn't Matthew Stafford. If it wasn't for Aaron Donald, Joe Burrow has a wide-open Jamar Chase down the right sideline. If it wasn't for that entire team, Jalen Ramsey, they would have, if they threw a penalty flag when he got face masked, that game would have been completely different. But instead, it was a tight race because Matthew Stafford and the Rams offense couldn't get it done. It was up to their defense to hold Joe Burrow to one final drive.
Now, you want to talk about, and you know who he beat in that playoff from?
Who?
Thomas Mother-lovin' Brady.
You're right. He did beat Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. at 43 years old, who won a Super Bowl
Make this the last
year
point.
prior.
Okay.
Who won a Super Bowl the year before. Who has also won 7 Super Bowls in his career. Who lost his head coach and then had a new head coach that same season.
Irrelevant. Make your
Who
final
was playing
statement.
for a new coaching staff.
Irrelevant. Make
Any,
your final
are there any
statement.
final
Aaron
statements?
Rodgers is greater than Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is greater than Matthew Stafford.
Jake, what's your final
That's-
statement?
Any final points?
My final statement is that Tom Brady has a 4-2 all-time head-to-head record against Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers has never been able to beat him in the playoffs. And Matthew Stafford has on
What
the
does
way.
this have to do with Tom Brady?
He was getting to his point. Wait.
Oh, okay.
And that,
Sorry.
yeah. No, you're good. And yeah, like I reiterated, really think about this. Stafford has had arguably two Hall of Fame careers in one with the Lions and one with the Rams, and he's not even done with his prime yet. Rodgers is bones. He's withering. He tried to replicate the success he had in Green Bay, and he couldn't do it. The only reason he won is because he had a specific system set up for him to win. And yeah, great. He won one Super Bowl in 10 years or whatever. I think Stafford's got more on the horizon, and I think he's a better quarterback all time.
I want to give you guys a round of applause because that was the most
that was
like
great.
That was a good
the
debate,
most
John. That was a
football-
really
that
good
was the
debate,
most
bro.
football debate, like Thanksgiving with your relatives debate. That was a good time. I genuinely enjoyed listening to that. Like if I wasn't on this podcast, I would still listen to this podcast. That was great.
Selfless plug.
There
What
were
I will
some points
say-
that had to be
Yeah.
made that weren't made.
Okay.
Oh, Torn's camera turned off though.
Torrance, yeah, he's good.
Can I start?
Yeah, start it off, dude. Go ahead.
Well,
All right. Well, I
I'll go
think
last.
again, round of applause, Jake. That's a very hard position that you find yourself in because we're basically talking
Good job.
what we've seen already out of Aaron Rodgers versus what we're beginning to see with Matthew Stafford. Right? Like you said, we know Matthew Stafford is great, but in terms of MVPs, Super Bowls, that just is starting to happen where Rodgers has that one Super Bowl, but he's got multiple MVPs and multiple great seasons, right? So it's a very hard topic, and I would argue it's a very recency bias topic, especially on the Matthew Stafford end. I'm not going to put my vote in yet because I want to hear what the other two judges have to say, but I think I really like Jake's point because me and Brandon were typing in chat a little bit. I agree with Jake. You could argue that Matthew Stafford was the key that got the Rams over the hump. I mean, you think back to the Jared Goff Super Bowl with prime Todd Gurley, mind you, and still Aaron Donald and a really great defense with guys like Marcus Peters. Going against Tom Brady, who didn't even play his best that we've ever seen in a Super Bowl, mind you, and still go out and put a snooze fest for one of the most boring Super Bowls ever. You go out and make a huge swing trade that basically sets up the Lions into their rebuild. You give them Jared Goff. And I know you're going to come at me with numbers, right? But you give them Jared Goff, you give them a bunch of tools that turn into picks that turn to guys like Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, things that kickstart their rebuild and turn them into a contender. In return, Matthew Stafford comes to LA and he wins a Super Bowl. And then he goes and wins an MVP. And the only reason we're not talking about him winning a second Super Bowl is because he ran into a dominant Seahawks team. And we've talked about it before. The winner of that NFC Championship game was going to win the Super Bowl regardless. And going on to John's flip side, you look at a guy like Aaron Rodgers who has won Super Bowl. So they got the same amount of Super Bowls, but he's got all these MVPs. I think we take for granted watching 2020's Aaron Rodgers sometimes because we're all Bills fans and we love Josh Allen. But oh my gosh, the shit that Aaron Rodgers was cooking up in Green Bay was absolutely amazing. But he couldn't get past Tom Brady. He couldn't get past the San Francisco 49ers on multiple occasions. And we all, you want to say, sure, regular season stuff, and I know we're talking all the time, it's amazing and all, but playoffs, right? We're big into playoffs. What do you do in the playoffs? Aaron Rodgers shits down his leg in the playoffs. And it might not be completely on Aaron Rodgers, like John said, with all these mid-lackluster defenses. But at the end of the day, you're the franchise quarterback. You have Devontae Adams going into his prime. Arguably the best quarterback and receiver duo of the 2020s.
Really
come
quick,
on.
Nate. Though, really quick. How many of those playoff games ended with the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hand? And it wasn't on his defense to make.
If you're putting me
stop.
on the spot, I'm not
It's
going to be able to tell you.
All right, we gotta
I'm
keep
just-
it going.
I'm-
We gotta keep it going.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Torn can go. He hasn't
I
judged
thought that both of you guys made very valid points. I'm surprised John, that you didn't bring up Ty Simpson. I'm surprised in the fact that you didn't bring that up, just because if you brought up that point, it would have given you it would have gotten you over the hump that you already were on. I thought that Jake's ending was quite better than yours, just because you said Aaron Rodgers is better than Matt Stafford. And Jake, I thought you made some really good points, but I'm also surprised you didn't bring up. It's arguable that Matt Stafford had created the 3 greatest wide receiver seasons we've ever seen. We saw Megatron, we saw Cooper Kupp in his prime, and we saw Puka Nacua. He made those wide receivers those guys.
Yeah, Puka's rookie year is the greatest. It's the greatest rookie year ever for a receiver. And then the top 2 overall wide receiver seasons ever in Kupp and Megatron.
Also, don't forget, he got Kenny Galladay at bag.
I didn't say that exactly, but that's kind of what I meant when I'm saying he's the engine behind these receivers. That's all I was saying. But yeah, I probably should have specified
John,
more.
Just because he also talked more, he brought in more knowledge and more facts compared to Jake. If I were to give an edge right now, it would be John. But I'm open to hearing what you have to say.
I'm in the same boat as you. I thought John presented the more logistical debate to the table here. I think Rodgers is one of the few that gets, and Rodgers didn't even play bad on the Jets. Let's not act like Rodgers was horrible on the Jets for what the circumstance was.
That's what I said. He was a serviceable quarterback.
And he just won a pretty tough AFC North division on the Steelers in his 40s. So he also, not to mention, he's one of those few that even if he was playing bad in this back half, he'd get a pass. He's not like Russ, where he's sabotaging the Hall of Fame career. He had 4 MVP. Rodgers was the same age as Stafford when he won his 2020 MVP versus when Stafford just won his 2025 MVP, and I believe Rodgers had the much better award. 2020 MVP Rodgers, that's a point John could have hammered home a lot more. It's the most efficient quarterback season of all time. I do like the fact you listed the intangibles of Rodgers, though, John, how he's just the most talented arm we've ever seen by a quarterback. One thing I kind of convinced myself of that I was thinking about more when we were typing in the chat is that with all the moves that they made and the roster that they have, and how Jared Goff has had similar seasons the last 2 years in 23 and 24 to what Stafford had in 25 as an MVP, I think the Rams could have won the Super Bowl in 2021 with Jared Goff instead of Matt Stafford, just because of how good the rest of the team was. And maybe one more thing I would have brought up is the lack of help that the front office had given Aaron Rodgers, especially towards the latter half of his career when he was winning back-to-back MVPs in his late 30s and Brady was on his way out the door. But yeah, no, in terms of, this was a good football debate, and in terms of convincing me, in terms of a football debate, I would vote for John. I don't think either of you had too tough of an argument either way. I thought there were both points that, I could have seen myself, I guess, if I want to put it in that perspective, defending both sides. So that's kind of why I'd call it even. And I preferred John's argument overall by about this much. I thought both of you did a great job, but we have to vote. I like John.
I'm also going John.
I'm going for John. It was a big gap until Jake brought up that closing argument. I thought that brought you closer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going.
I wouldn't say though the Rams would be like
great job. Great job.
GG's. That was a good debate.
I mean, the Rams probably could win the Super Bowl, but you're not getting 21 cup with Jared Goff.
I think you
no,
not that good, but good enough to win the Super Bowl. I also one thing I will say, I didn't love bringing up Stafford beating Brady because they almost choked that game, but that was the one where I was like, oh, John could really hammer this one down, where we thought the script was going to come through there and Brady was going to have an insane comeback. Granted, it was because of Cam Akers, but Stafford also did that at the end, so I guess it's fair. But let's go and spin the wheel. With this maybe the last one, we might have time for one more after. Let's see how long this one takes, though.
I say we force Brandon Crone to debate someone.
I agree.
Was Brady a system QB?
I want to judge this one. I don't want to argue this one.
Is Brady a system QB?
I want to hear John Hassan argue this one so badly, bro.
I've done 75% of these, bro.
This isn't the one I want. This isn't the one I want to be on the spot for, but I can definitely do it.
I don't want to be. On the
Nate.
I think I've done 3 of these.
Nate it landed on. Hold on, I want to see what we get first with the wheel. Because if it doesn't land on me, I kind of want to go today.
I kind of want to spectate this one, dude.
You do?
I want to spectate this.
Okay, you know
I
what?
do too,
I
bro.
I think it's only fair John argues this one, dude.
Fine.
He's the biggest Tom
I think
Brady
it's you
guy of
versus
all
John,
time.
bro.
You know what?
I think it's
I'll
you
do
versus
it. I'll do it.
Brady versus
I'll
John.
go against the Brady fan, and I'll defend. Like, I'm gonna get destroyed, but I will do my best.
Dude, you're a Jalen Hurts supporter. I think you can do this.
Well, I'm saying Brady was a system guy.
No, you're a
If your
Jalen Hurts
debate skills are
supporter.
good
You
enough,
can do
can
this.
twist anything, bro.
Yeah, wait. Let's not forget that this dude was a goat at Among Us.
Dude,
It's completely
Brandon?
irrelevant.
I need to
How's
pull
that
out.
relevant?
I need to
This
pull
dude
out
had
some
a-
barely
Totally irrelevant.
stats here for this debate.
Bro.
You guys fill the dead air. I'm gonna prepare.
All right.
Nate, do you?
Well,
I think
okay.
Brandon.
He was a
I'm
system
very
quarterback.
curious. This is our first time seeing Brandon debate. I don't know how he is
He's
as a
gonna no.
debater.
He's gonna pull out some crazy.
I think he's
stats.
gonna pull out. I think
Crazy
Brandon's the type of
stats.
guy to just pull out some crazy stuff.
Hear
I
hear
think,
this.
I think if I'm right, he's gonna pull out something regarding the coaching staff.
How much do we value the Tampa Bay Tom Brady era?
Well, he won a Super Bowl.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
but you could. I mean that. You could make the Matthew Stafford argument that Jake was trying to make with that Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. They brought
I
in
want to
Rob
clarify, Chad. I
Gronkowski
don't
and
think
Thomas
Brady
Edward
is a
Brady,
system
and
QB. But
well, they
I
won a
have
Super
to,
Bowl.
I have to
They were a
argue here,
quarterback away.
so take everything I say with a grain of salt.
He's just chatting.
I'm talking to the chat. I apologize. I don't want to get in the way of your guy. Like that way, it doesn't
Oh
interrupt the
no, thank you.
your guys talking.
I mean, I feel like Brady. If anything, the biggest argument is going to be the Brady Belichick tie-in, because there's that argument has always been going on for quite a
Do you
while.
think- Do you think like him? Do you think Brady winning a Super Bowl with another coaching staff helps his like?
Oh,
case?
definitely.
I understand.
Definitely.
100%.
Definitely.
'Cause that's something I would hammer home. I understand that, but then you could a counterpoint is like you needed Gronkowski to do it. So
I mean, they already had a really good roster. I mean, I'd feel
yeah.
like sure
They
different
had an amazing
different
roster, if anything, bro.
different
They were
different
amazing on both
coaching
sides of the
stuff,
ball.
yes, but they already had a complete set team. They just needed a quarterback, dude. They
They were
had
amazing on both
Godwin.
sides
They
of the ball.
had
John,
they had
John,
Evans.
John, it's me versus you. I'm saying Brady's a system QB, and you're saying Brady's not a system QB.
No.
Yes.
Wait, no, yes. Wait, yes.
Yeah.
wait, yes.
That's we rigged this for the. It landed on this topic, but we rigged the names. It was
I'm gonna
actually
get
supposed to be.
destroyed.
What were the
dude.
names originally drawn
Nate was
as?
going to be
You're
in my
supporting
shoes,
that
and
he's-
Jake was going to be in
He's not
John's
a system
shoes.
quarterback.
Oh my
You're saying that he's
lord!
not a system quarterback.
You're saying he's not a system quarterback. I'll give you a couple minutes. I'm kind of prepared.
John, do
I'm
you
just gonna
think
sit
he's
here
a
and make
system
my
quarterback or
forearms
no?
look huge.
Mine are bigger, bro.
I mean, I don't know. You could make a lot of arguments, especially with like for as good as Brady's wide receivers are, he really I mean, he's got Randy Moss in 07 as like the really big outlier, and then you go all the way to Tampa with like a guy like Mike Evans, but then what you got, and I'm not saying this to disrespect or
Yeah, Mike
undermine any of
Evans,
these
Chris
people, but
Godwin, and-
Wes Welker at a point, really good wide receiver. You got Julian Edelman, but like you get back end of his prime, Josh Gordon, Antonio Brown as he's going out the door with CTE. You have a running back backfields that consist of guys like Danny Woodhead, Shane Vereen, Sony Michelle.
Why is he
LeGarrette
like
Blount.
defending my point for me?
No, we're just
Well, we're just trying to fill the air right
You're
now.
filling the dead air
Oh,
because
okay.
you
We kind of got to go back and forth.
This is
The-
a
the-
heavy
the-
research debate. I feel like so we
Oh,
need to.
100%.
Well, the thing is, like, what do you really have to? The only counter
Well,
argument
I
you
have
can
some
make
things
is
in my
that
head already.
for as good as Tom Brady is, Bill Belichick and the defenses that he had and all the consistent top 10 defenses definitely helped. And it's not you know, especially towards the back end of Brady's career. I mean, you know, you
all
got
his defenses were elite. Good.
dude.
if not
Bill
elite.
Belichick was able to turn J.C. Jackson into one of the highest paid cornerbacks at the time, and then he absolutely sucked
Yeah.
once he left New England.
We saw
I mean-
Malcolm Butler become a star. because
Malcolm
of that
Butler,
pick
Malcolm
earlier.
Butler at the goal line. I mean, that's more of a
He
Pete
made
Carroll
Malcolm
decision.
Butler the guy.
I don't know.
think
It's a
Sutton
very
play too.
And also, I mean, you could say if you want to lean more to the coaching staff. I mean, McDaniel's literally only succeeds in New England. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he went to what, the Raiders and the
and
Broncos.
yeah, like I don't know.
When
You
he
get
comes
one of
back,
the
he's just
greatest
great.
quarterbacks to you get the goat
I mean,
of
I'm ready,
coaching.
Brandon, whenever you
I'm
are.
ready.
You
I'm
arguably
ready.
get the goat of coaching and
I'm
quarterback
ready.
on your
This
team.
is
It's
such a
tough
hard.
debate.
I need to clarify right now. I said it saying to the chat. I need everyone to take what I'm gonna say with a grain of salt.
With a grain of
because
salt.
I have to.
Yo, Brandon.
This is for the debate.
Okay, before you start, I guess we'll be the moderators since you're the one debating. What's the cutoff? Like, have you been giving us like 10 minutes?
I haven't been giving you guys time limits, just kind of based on the argument.
If you're
Just-
rambling, I'm going to stop
if you're
you.
rambling,
Okay,
if we
yeah.
get to a point where
I
it's
like
gotten
that.
too far, cut us off.
Yeah, or if I feel like your thing is invalid to the prompt, I'm just going to say irrelevant
Okay.
Okay.
because it sounds cool.
All right,
Brandon,
I'm gonna
I'll have
need-
you lead off.
You're gonna have me lead off.
I'm gonna
Tone,
have
do you want to
lead
join the
off.
forearm debate?
Wow.
The least you could do is lead off here.
You're leading off. You're leading off.
I'm cooked. Okay.
He's giving him no edge, dude.
Okay. I want to.
Edge.
You said edge.
Yeah. So we obviously with Tom Brady, we need to look at the fact that like the amount of good teams he's played on both sides of the football. Okay. A lot of people like to sit here and say that Brady carried plumbers to Super Bowls and whatever with supporting cast. First of all, he's had a lot of good members of the supporting cast. People look at wide receiver cores at face value, ignoring the elite tight end room he had throughout his career, specifically with Gronk. And even the years where he did, have a guy like Randy Moss and he choked like a dog. You had that. He had great run game. He had great offensive lines, and he of course had great defenses. Tom Brady has played with a top 10 defense in terms of points allowed in 15 of his 21 NFL seasons. 15 seasons with a top 10 defense. Most quarterbacks don't play 15 NFL seasons in their career. He's done 15 times. He's had a top 10 defense. He's also had a great coaching staff all around. Guys, Bill Belichick was so good. He had assistants come in like Josh McDaniel, who couldn't cut it anywhere else, but when they were an assistant with the New England Patriots, they were elite. Bill Belichick has not only, you can go, Tom Brady's the GOAT, whatever, you say that, sure, but he's also coached the greatest player you could argue on all three faces of the football. LT, defensive player for when he coached with the Giants, and arguably the greatest special teams player of all time in Matthew Slater as well on the Patriots. So you have all these great things with Brady, all these amazing systems he's played in, and even ignoring the fact of the New England Patriots, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were absolutely 100% without a shadow of a doubt a quarterback away from winning a Super Bowl. That roster was elite, and they just needed a quarterback. So much so, Jameis still threw for 5,000 yards with 30 picks. Yeah, he was gunslinging whatever. They were a quarterback away from getting that done, and they did that, and he brought in Gronk. That team that he was on dismantled Mahomes, made him look like he didn't belong in anywhere near a Super Bowl, coming off, they were the defending Super Bowl champs. And that team also was so good that they stuck around. They had all 53 starters return the following year after that Super Bowl. So there's no way that Brady has not benefited from amazing systems he's had around him. There's a lot more points I can get into that are more so like counters to something you might say. So I'm going to let you speak, but those, I guess, are some interesting stuff.
You are right on the fact of Tampa Bay. He walked into a very set roster on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the back end of his career. At 41 years old, he walked into a Tampa Bay roster that, yes, is just a quarterback away. But what team has a 41-year-old be that quarterback that they needed? I don't know another quarterback that could go 20-plus years and still play at an MVP talent. He was neck and neck with 2020 Aaron Rodgers for the MVP candidacy, or 2021.
No. He was not.
It was a close
okay,
race
2021,
between Tom Brady
2021, Brady should have probably won the MVP.
I got the year 2021. He was
fair.
42, 43 years old at that point. And you brought up he had key pieces in his offense, which is correct. You're right. He had Randy Moss in the back end of his career, he helped put one of the best offensive showcases we've ever witnessed with Randy Moss on his offense. But then he also, after Randy Moss left, he was stuck with Aaron Hernandez, who let's be honest here, didn't really have a very long career, but he could have
But
been
he was
great.
amazing when he played. That's what
He
I'm saying.
could've
He
been
was
great.
an amazing player.
Rob Gronkowski is a solid and great tight end, the greatest tight end of all time. And aside from that, he was throwing two glorified slot receivers. His number one receivers were slot guys. Wes Welker on the back end of his career. Julian Edelman, who barely put up any regular season statistics, who was only
But
a
came through
playoff
in the playoffs
performer.
when it mattered the most. He played.
But came through the playoffs.
What other wide receivers
But
can you
what
name that
did he
played
do
up
in the regular
playoffs?
season? What did he do in the regular season to get him to that point? Brady had to drag that team
Brady's legacy
to
is
the
not
playoffs.
defined at all by regular season. If
And
we
then
were
Bill
talking regular
Belichick.
season alone,
If
Tom
we're
Brady would not be the
if we're
GOAT. Aaron
talking, if we're
Rodgers is better
talking,
than Tom Brady.
Bill
If we
Belichick,
talk
if we're
regular
talking
season
Bill
only.
Belichick's effect on Tom Brady's career, which you're right, Bill Belichick has had a huge effect on Tom
And that's
Brady's
more
career.
on the defensive side too. Hear me.
After-
It's more on the defensive
After
side.
Tom Brady left, what
Brady,
did that team
Tom Brady.
do? After Tom Brady left, what did that team do? Bill Belichick had to leave and go to his girlfriend's college because
All
he
right.
couldn't hack it anymore
Yeah.
in the NFL.
But
without Tom Brady at quarterback.
Belichick's defense is the reason that Tom Brady has 6 playoff wins where he had multiple interceptions. Most starting QBs don't play 6 playoff games in their career. He has 6 playoff wins in which he had multiple
So how
interceptions
many
thrown
other
in the game.
playoff wins does Tom Brady have aside from those 6?
He has a lot of wins with a
28
great
more?
system. Like
28
I just
more
said,
playoff
15 top 10 defenses in his NFL
He
career.
then went on
And look,
to win. You're
that
right. He was a
2021
quarterback
season,
piece away.
that 2021 season, you can't use the weapons argument because that year he had Mike Evans, who was still in his prime, Chris Godwin, who at that time was in his prime. He had AB for most of the season. He had Gronk, who was still a touchdown machine. He had Leonard Fournette, who had probably the greatest year of his career, and I know that because he won me a fantasy championship.
That Tampa Bay roster, like I said at the beginning of this argument, it was very good. It was just a quarterback piece away, a 40, 41, 42-year-old quarterback away. But you look at his running back, you mentioned he had a great running game. Yes, he had a great Leonard Fournette season. But then early on, he had Corey Dillon for like 2-3 years early on, who was also at the back end of his career. Kevin Falk was a running back for him at some point.
And also, what do you mean Wes Welker? I want to go back to what you said earlier, talking about back end of your career. Wes Welker was not in the back end of his career as the Patriots, in my opinion. I don't think he. You could check the box score. I don't think he put up better numbers anywhere else.
I feel like he was greater on Denver than he was in New England with Peyton Manning. I feel like he had better seasons with Peyton Manning on the Broncos than he did in New England. Not saying he wasn't great in New England.
That's
not saying he
nitpicking
wasn't great in New
regardless.
England, but when I think of a star wide receiver that these quarterbacks should be throwing through, I don't think of Wes Welker. I think that's a slot guy that Tom Brady helped elevate and made great. I think Wes Welker's career was affected heavily by Tom Brady being able to get him the ball.
Do you think
and
it's
being able to
single-handedly
create open space.
Tom Brady, though, or do you think Brady was also elevated to be put into that game manager role better than anyone else has in NFL history? But if you're going off just pure QB NFL talent, there's a lot of guys who would be better. Patrick Mahomes is more talented than Tom Brady.
That's not a debate. Tom Brady is smart. Tom Brady is the smartest quarterback to ever touch the field. His eyes are like a computer when he steps onto the football field.
He's not smarter
He
than Aaron
reads
Rodgers.
defenses like
Rodgers
not many other
Rodgers
quarterbacks
is statistically
can.
more efficient than Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is drafted in the 6th round, doesn't start his rookie season. Drew Bledsoe goes down. The year following, he wins a Super Bowl.
That's a
Who
great
wins a
story.
Super Bowl
Yeah,
in
the
his
year they
second year starting?
invented a rule mid-playoff run to help him win a game. Which, by the way, there's another all-time player that Bill Belichick coached, the greatest kicker of all time in Adam Vinatieri. Another one, right there. On another side of the special teams.
Adam Vinatieri had a clutch kick. Tom Brady had to get that team to the Super Bowl.
A clutch
He
time
had to
kick
get
in
that
the snow.
team to
They
the
shouldn't have even had a
playoffs.
chance to kick that. He
Hey,
put up 10 points.
it
He
wasn't
put
a
up 10
fumble.
points
It
in
wasn't
that
a
game
fumble. It wasn't
before
a
that
fumble.
field goal.
It wasn't a fumble there. And then he
They
goes
invented
on.
multiple rules on behalf of
He
Tom
then,
Brady.
he then beats.
They said you
the
couldn't hit
Andy
below the
Reid
knee because
Eagles.
Tom Brady snapped his leg.
He then beats the greatest show on turf Rams, beats the Andy Reid early 2000s led Eagles. He beat the Carolina Panthers, and there was Jake Delhomme at
Eagles team
quarterback,
was
whatever.
severely overrated, and that Carolina Panthers team The deciding factor in the game was that the Panthers kicker decided in clutch time in the fourth quarter to kick the ball off out of bounds, and Brady got to start from the 40-yard line. That's another thing too. Brady's defense is always creating a lot of game-winning drives, clutch time drives Brady's had in his career start on or in front of the 50-yard line because of both great defenses creating turnovers and great special teams players. That's the type of thing we saw Joe Burrow during his 2021 Super Bowl run where he was carried. A lot of that was Brady's entire career, especially in the postseason. His defense played up more than anyone we've ever seen.
Tom Brady
it's the stuff we complain that Josh Allen's defense plays down in the playoffs and we get all upset about it. New England fans feel the exact opposite because Brady's defense always played up in the playoffs.
Super Bowl 51, this is on part of the defense as well as the offense, came back down 28-3 with a quarter and a half of football left in a Super Bowl performance. Loses to the Eagles next year after putting up almost 500 passing yards.
He put up 500 yards, but dude, they were coming from behind the whole game.
And loses.
They were playing come from behind the whole game. They had to swing it. That's like Joe Burrow's 2024 season where he's got to sling it 20, 30, 40 times a game because he digs his team into a ditch. They were playing come from behind the whole game. The 28-3 comeback
wasn't on Tom Brady. The Eagles offense was tearing apart that Patriots defense entire game.
No, the 28.
You can't win a football game if your defense is allowing the Eagles to just dominate you on the ground and through the air the entire game. Of course, Tom Brady has to sling it.
And got to play Blake Bortles on the way in that playoff run, by the way. But nonetheless, even in that 28-3 game, that's more so Kyle Shanahan fumbling the game away than anything else I've ever seen in my entire life. It was disgusting. The game managerial decisions that the Falcons were making, punting versus kicking versus whatever, were just less than college level football. It's one of the worst showcases of a coaching staff you've ever seen in your entire life. I don't want to sit here and act like Brady was the sole difference maker in that game, because you also have to admit that in a clutch time in the game during that drive, Julian Edelman makes a catch where he's about 6 inches away from the ball hitting the ground. They have to slow that down so hard. In what situation is Brady being a sole level difference maker in that game?
How many other quarterbacks do you want? How many other quarterbacks do you trust?
James White was like the best player on the overtime drive.
You need a touchdown. It's the final drive of the game. How many other quarterbacks can you think of, aside from Tom Brady, to lead a game-winning drive with 2 minutes, no touchdowns?
He has a lot of clutch time factor, but he's not one of one in that regard at all. He is not one of one in that regard.
He's not one of one.
Systems he's played in
I'd take him over any other quarterback I could think of. I'd take him over any other quarterback.
Both in terms of like game-winning drives, who he's had around him maybe, but also necessarily where the game-winning drives start. Like I said before, there were other situations.
I'm not taking Josh Allen over Tom Brady in the clutch any day.
But listen, that's not what I'm saying. Ignore him. Ignore him. Listen to this. Game-winning drives where you have to start all the way back in your own field. Aaron Rodgers, I'd argue, has the higher resume. I can think of one situation right now. Tom Brady's final pass to New England Patriot. Pick 6. Because he's all the way back in his own part. He's not starting in front of the 50-yard line this time. And he throws a pick 6 as his last throw as a pass. That's how he went out. There was not a lot of time left on the clock. I understand they weren't going to win the game regardless, but he went out sad. He didn't have that amazing whatever chance to succeed that he normally would have, that the system sets him up with, and he folded like a dog. And he lost to Ryan Tannehill in his final game as a Patriot, and it was embarrassing. It was absolutely embarrassing.
Final points.
I just have to sit here and say that there are just no quarterback has been more fortunate than Tom Brady throughout their entire career. Officials making up rules or changing rules later on due to things happening. The coaching staff, the assistants, the fact the coaching staff was able to elevate not only the QBs around him, the players around him, but the assistants around him to where he got Josh McDaniel a coaching job and he shit his pants so hard that he went right back. He's been able to get Bill Belichick was able to get his family hired to jobs. Steve Belichick is maybe the dumbest person you've ever seen in your entire life, but he was a great assistant. He played his role he needed to on the New England Patriots. Coaching the greatest players on all faces of the football. 15 top defenses in his career. 6 playoff wins with multiple interceptions thrown. Multiple instances where you can pinpoint the other side of the football made Brady's job so much easier, and it just happened so much. I don't know how you can look at the guy and not think greatest of all time, sure, greatest game manager of all time. That's what he is.
All right, John.
I don't really have a final statement. Brandon took this one. That was really good. I wasn't as prepared. I wasn't prepared, man. I was not
Bro,
ready
you
for
got
that.
fucking cooked.
All right, we
I'm
do
not
not
gonna
get
lie
to
to
a
you.
coach's
Valid
decision.
points.
I'm
John,
gonna have to
valid
go
points.
with John.
Bro,
Brandon
Brandon
did a really good
I feel like
job.
the one that fucked you the most was the fact that Brandon brought up the defense and where his starting position was almost.
Well, we all know Tom Brady has a great defense throughout his career.
Well,
This
but
isn't
it also
a
helps
hidden fact.
when your defense allows you to start with the ball on the 40 up, it automatically gives you a boost. You had a shot at coming up with when you brought up that Eagles Super Bowl because they
Yeah, John,
allowed
bro, I thought you were
41
coming back
points.
with that Eagles, and Brandon did such a good job of pivoting to the 28-3.
Brandon was very
funny,
well
dude.
Brandon was very well prepared for
That's
this
Brady's
debate.
greatest Super Bowl ever, and he lost. I wanted to avoid the Philly special game as much as
I
possible.
could see Brandon wanted to steer clear of that. I was like,
I
in
had
my
to.
head, I'm
I
like,
pivoted
John,
to
you gotta
28 to
pivot
3, and
away.
I brought up that he lost to Blake, or that he got to play Blake Bortles beforehand to get there. So I don't know. I want to go on record. Well, I'm gonna let you guys vote first.
I'm going.
I think John conceded.
I'm
I
going.
think John
Ja
conceded.
Brandon.
Yeah, I just kind of
I want to go on record and say I don't think Tom Brady's a system quarterback, and he is the greatest of all time. But
Fager made a great point in the chat. He said that Tom Brady is not a system quarterback, and he is the system, and that whatever scenario he goes into, he makes that system.
Who talked about Philadelphia
I do and don't agree.
the first time?
The Tampa Bay team was 100% a QB away, and I'll always stand by
McNabb
that.
shit his pants.
The one
Who
thing
talked about?
the pre-Philly team, super overrated.
Oh my god!
So
McNabb
overrated.
threw 3 picks in that game.
So overrated. So overrated. That's what I said. They were those back-to-back Super
Oh
Bowls.
my god!
The path to the one against the Rams, where they were handed the game against the Raiders.
Yes.
Yeah. The Eagles
Tuck
won,
rule.
overrated team. The Carolina Panthers, name 5 players from that team. That Carolina
The
Panthers.
Tuck rule, right?
Well, that's why I said. Like, and then the Panthers he beat with Jake Delhomme and whatever.
And it wasn't like a runaway game. It was a clutch time kickoff, and they kicked it out of bounds. I'm telling you, man. I've watched a lot of Barry, and I think that was able to kind of get me.
Barry McCockner.
I felt
Donovan
like him for a
McNabb.
little bit. John, that was a great debate.
Donovan McNabb, dude. Oh my gosh, Donovan McNabb pooped his pants in the Super Bowl.
He pooped his pants in that Super Bowl.
Like,
people doubted
it was
Andy
bad.
Reid after that Super Bowl, dude.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
That was
There's
not
a lot
the
of
Super Bowl to
context there.
pivot to. There's a lot of Super Bowls.
I don't think Brady is not a system QB. He's the
Focus on the Chiefs one. God damn.
But I mean, yeah. The one thing I will stand on is that Tampa was always a QB away, and that's why.
Oh, Sam, we were talking about this.
My dad says, "Oh, he went to Tampa because of the taxes are low in Florida, and he's getting old." And I'm
That's definitely part of it.
No,
That's
it was
real.
the
That's
quarterback
maybe part of it.
gotta be
But
part
I mean,
of
come
it.
on.
That's why I didn't really want to talk about the Tampa
why
Bay
Tyreek
team
Hill went to
because
Miami.
And I
that
didn't even bring up Bruce Arians.
See, I brought him up in chat. I swear to God, I brought him up in chat.
I didn't
I
even
said
get to
we're not.
bring up
We,
Bruce
we,
Arians.
we can't just bypass like
Oh, you
Bruce Arians
actually-
is one of the
you
greatest
said that?
offensive
Wow.
coaches.
Yeah, he's greatest offensive mind.
I said.
If it makes you
I
feel
said
better, I
something-
tabbed I tabbed the thing out so I couldn't read chat while I was debating. I thought that was cheap.
Yeah, I do this. I do the same thing for
Um,
when I was talking.
But yeah, also, was I correct in saying that Wes Welker was better in New England?
Yes, I was
he's
talking
so
about in
much
chat.
better, bro. He played on the
I
Dolphins,
thought so.
the Broncos, and his peak was like 2010 to like something.
Yeah,
I remember
Dude,
that.
I said
so.
there was a time where they were so invested in Wes Welker, they probably weren't going to give Julian Edelman a shot until Wes Welker left, and then
Wow.
they're like, "Oh, someone's got to take the Wes Welker role."
Fellas,
Wes Welker's the number one guy, dude.
I'm glad this was a big
I feel
success.
like Wes Welker was even good on the Broncos, and that's after he was on the
You
Patriots.
got to play Peyton Manning after Tom Brady. That's pretty impressive.
This episode, props to all you guys. Thank you for hopping on. Thank you to everyone who was in the chat. We peaked at like 10 viewers. We probably averaged like
We had
7.
over 5 viewers almost the entire stream. So
And it's
shout out to
11
chat.
o'clock. This was nuts. We're going to do this a few times a year. However, we don't want to drag it too much, but like,
Fred?
I'm down to do this every other month. If you guys, we can do this every other month. We could do this once a month. We could do this however, especially during the off season, we can do this a bunch. However people you want, you guys let us know in the comments.
Bill's
Did you
bye
guys
week, it
enjoy
looks like
this?
you got some
Chat, let
content.
us know if there's any games you want us to play too, or any
Yeah,
recommendations. let
next
us know.
week we are taking on the viral 17-0 challenge that I promise you is rigged. We're not going to get it, but you can see us
Brandon
get
had the most
absolutely
elite
rigged, baby.
roster and went 16-1.
I almost want to. I'll put it on like the Instagram or something, or show it on the next live this stream I had. But
Someone type something in chat.
every day.
Oh no, the one above that. The one above that.
Edelman won the MVP.
Oh, did mine not? I said shameless plug BDG.co.
Oh,
Not
I don't
sponsored,
see
by
it.
the
I
way.
don't see it.
Edelman.
Oh,
I
it
didn't even
didn't
bring
pop
up
up
the
then.
fact that Brady wasn't even
Yeah,
Super
Julian
Bowl
Edelman.
MVP.
Because of that catch alone, Julian Edelman
Well,
won
then
Super
I
Bowl
guess I
MVP in the
kinda-
2023.
Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for anyone, especially who stuck around the whole time. Be sure to like, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. Stay tuned next week. We take on the 17-0 challenge. It's probably going to be on a different day because I believe people are going to be out of town on Thursday. So we will talk about that this weekend to kind of discuss when we want to do that. But everyone have a great rest of your night. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.